Hi, my name is Courtney, and when I created my media company, I created it with the intention we would fix all the longstanding issues within Hollywood. And today I wanted to speak about a topic that isn't really spoken about within the art world, but it should get more attention, and that's the topic of muses. So, what do I mean by muse? And by that I mean that historically artists have been men, at least the ones who have been able to pursue their art. Obviously, there's been women artists as well, but the ones who have been able to gain fame and money and attention and actually pursue their art has historically been men. And we see this still in the entertainment industry where men hold almost all the power and get all the funding and within this dynamic, usually their inspiration is women, and we see women who when it goes back to sculptors being sculpted or being painted, and we have men who make films that are inspired by their girlfriends or their wives or relationships they've had. And this whole power dynamic that plays out across the world of art, where men have historically held the power and women have historically been the inspiration behind the creativity and behind so much great art, yet they're oftentimes unknown, invisible. They were oftentimes abused and exploited and weren't compensated. And we see this power dynamic playing out in both our society and the entertainment industry. And I know when I did some research about this, because I had heard the term muse abuse, and I was like, I wanted to get a more formal definition, and just searching for that, there were so many articles that came up about famous male artists throughout history and how they had abused their muses. And, we don't typically know the names of these women, whereas we know the names of these artists. And so this is something we see play out in the entertainment industry as well. And I know as an artist myself, I have inspired some great art, I would say, by men who are artists as well. And I think it can be empowering to the woman, depending on what kind of art he's making about her, and as long as she is also being financially compensated. I think if someone is making money off of you, you should also be making money off of you. And I think as long as the woman she consents to being a muse and is okay with the art being made, and she's being credited and celebrated for inspiring such great art, and she's definitely being financially compensated, I think it could be a dynamic that could be empowering to both people, especially if she's also an artist. But I think muses really need to be willing participants, and willing participants for that particular artist. And I just think it's just incredible when you look at all this art, and we've seen all these paintings from history, and you might know the name of the male artist, but the paintings are all women. And who are these women? What is their story? What is their background? Who are they? What are their names? And we oftentimes don't know their names, and they have oftentimes been invisible. And so if you want to see women artists like myself and other women being front and center, and being able to tell our own stories and be supported as artists, and you want to support me in all the change I'm creating within the entertainment industry, you want to do so without spending any money, feel free to check out my book DreamLand, which is available on Kindle Unlimited and on Amazon. I like to write young adult fantasy books, but I would say they're for the young adult age range and older. So if you love just fantasy books, books about the supernatural, the metaphysical, about magic, you would love my work. And my book Dreamland is about a recent college graduate named Penelope, who has this ability to be a lucid dreamer, and it leads to her being recruited into a secret organization for lucid dreamers. So if you want to support women and support my media company and all the change I'm creating, which will lead to more women artists being able to tell our own stories, and be able to be in control of our own voices and our own art, and having our art be front and center. And you want to support me, feel free to read my book. All the proceeds go right back into my company and everything I'm doing. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support.